It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, an important matchup between two outstanding elementary schools as we head toward the finale of this Science Bowl season. Let's meet our teams right now. From Accokeek Academy, please say hello to Grant Wilmore, Kevin Crosby, and Carlia Williams-Locks. And from Magnolia Elementary School, please welcome Chrissy Beecham, Madison Maragliano, and Cortez Logan. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to the difficulty of the question, with the easier questions worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. We start our teams out at 50 points apiece, no penalties ever for incorrect answers. And yet into the 2 rounds, we will have a possible competitor for this year's semifinals. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Kevin, would you try your buzzer for Accokeek? All right, he's got a nice confident push over there. You're looking good in your matching lab coats today, too. And Magnolia looking good in matching yellow jerseys over there. Madison, try your buzzer. Thank you. Good luck to you and to your team as well. All right, we go alphabetically, and there's no question. A comes first, A before M. So, Kevin, let's start the bowl. Give me a category and a number, please.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, even though there are no felines associated with it, if you went to the doctor and got a computerized axial tomography test, you'd be getting what kind of scan, Magnolia?
CAT scan.
CAT scan, that's right. That's the acronym for what I just said. Good. Thank you, Cortez. Go green.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, during embryonic development, we human beings actually have the slits for a brief period of time of what fish respiratory organs. Excuse me, Magnolia.
Gills.
Gills, that's right. We have the remnants of gills for a very brief time during our development. All right, green.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, Quachi the Sasquatch is one of the mascots for the Vancouver Winter Olympics. The other mascot is Sunu, which is what kind of O-initialed whale?
Orca.
Magnolia.
Orca.
Orca. It's a little, tiny, cuddly killer whale. All right. Go again, green.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points is a multiple choice question. Teams, if you're wearing a wristwatch, your timepiece is atop your clavicle, your tibia, or your ulna bone. Which of those 3? You got to jump in here, Accokeek. You got to try to get some of these points here. Magnolia?
It's ulna.
Ulna?
Ulna, that's right. Ulna bone is right here in your wrist next to the radius bone. The tibia is down there in your leg, and your clavicle is up here in your shoulder. Go green.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, the poet Walt Whitman wrote a famous book called Leaves of Blank, but the leaves of this plant are things that we normally think of as blades that we cut with a mower. Magnolia. Whoops. What happened there? No? Okay. Who rang in? Magnolia rang in. Go ahead.
Leaves of grass?
Leaves of grass, absolutely right. Blades was your clue there. Mower, leaves of grass. All right, normally we think of blades of grass. Okay, green again.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. A multiple choice question. Teams, the redwood trees that grow along the Pacific coast depend on the high humidity of the fog that comes in from the ocean because they lose a lot of water through which of these processes? Transplantation, translucence, or transpiration? Which of those three do you think? Accokeek.
Transpiration.
You got that right. Transpiration, the loss of water vapor from the leaves of the tree. Go red.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, 100 years ago, the National Wildlife Refuge System began as an attempt to protect these birds with big pouches on their bills from, yes, Magnolia.
Pelicans?
Pelicans, yeah, because back then people were taking their feathers and using them for ladies' hats. It was a successful effort. Green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, during the Super Bowl, there was a funny commercial about people being arrested for doing things that really weren't crimes, but they weren't environmentally correct. One man had handcuffs put on himself because they caught him using an incandescent one of these. Accokeek?
Light bulb.
Light bulb, that's right. He didn't have one of those new high-tech bulbs that burns up a lot less energy. Go, red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, what prefix, meaning light, is found in a lot of plant terms like synthesis and tropism and period? Magnolia.
Photo.
Photosynthesis, photoperiodism, phototropism. You got that right. Go green.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. The big one in that category. Teams, to remove the gluten and other parts from cornstarch, to make it pure, scientists take all of those chemicals, put them inside of what kind of spinning machine that is found in laboratories to separate one substance from another? 25 points. What do we call that scientific spinning machine? Magnolia.
Centrifuge.
You got that right. Centrifuge. Thank you, Cortez, for your assist on that. Go green.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Listen carefully because a lot of the choices sound alike. Listen carefully. We all know what autism is, that affects children. Sometimes they are a bit remote. Now they've given them a chemical that's called the cuddle hormone. It makes them feel like they're being hugged. Is that cuddle hormone known as oxymoron, oxycontin, or oxytocin? Which of those three, Magnolia?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin is the hormone. Absolutely right. Good answer. All right, we've come to the end of the first round. It has been a quick round. It's been a good round, especially for Magnolia. They're in the lead with 180. Accokeek not far behind with 85. We'll be back with the second part of Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. 6 outstanding young people playing our game today. Practically all of them had experience being here before, either on set or as alternate. Let's go first to Accokeek Academy. And if that name does not ring true to you, it's because it's a new title. The school used to be Henry Ferguson and Eugene Burroughs. Am I correct? And now you're one big academy. And I know you're proud of your new title over there. And I like those lab coats over there. Kevin, whose idea was that?
Our coordinator for this, Miss Forbes.
Wonderful, Miss Forbes. And I know Mr. Olson? Yes. Is also the other sponsor of the team, and they have really done a great job getting you ready, and we're so happy to have you here today. Now, Kevin, you've been on the show before a couple of times, and it shows you're a great player. And Grant and Carlia, you've both been associated with the show as well as alternates, have you not? So it's nice to see you on set. Tell us, Kevin, first of all, where is Accokeek Academy?
As the name implies, it's in Accokeek.
That's right, boy. Isn't that a good? I like how you answered me, too. That's well down in the southern part of the county for people who don't get that way. It is part of Prince George's, but you've got to go pretty far south down there. And tell me, you had some alternates on your team, too, didn't you?
Yeah, we have Isaiah, Allison, and Roman.
And we'll bring all of them out, plus the 2 sponsors, so you can meet them in a few minutes here. Kevin, tell me about what you like to do in your spare time.
I like to play video games and play football.
Wonderful. Yeah, you look like you're a big guy. I can see you playing football. And you told me you'd like to go to Harvard University or where else?
Harvard or MIT.
MIT. And this is a young man who wants to be, he told me he wants to be either an astronaut, a doctor, or a mechanic. And I pointed out to him that a lot of being an astronaut and being a doctor involves mechanics of one sort or another. So I wish you a lot of luck. Those are good ambitions, Kevin. Carlia, nice to have you here today. This is a young lady who wants to be a veterinarian, but she has no pet. And you want a dog, don't you? Mm-hmm. What kind of dog would you like?
A golden retriever.
Oh, those are so popular, aren't they? Those golden retrievers and the labs, boy, those are just America's favorite dogs. What do you do in your spare time, Carlia?
I like to sing and dance and watch TV.
Yeah, singing and dance. So you're a performer. Yeah, so you're performing nicely here today. Make sure you help Kevin out in the second round here. And Grant, this young man is a singer, but he's also interested in being a barber. First prospective barber I've met in 24 years on this program. I love that. Now, tell me, what got you interested in both of those things, Grant?
Well, I knew that singing, I just got interested in singing because I like to hear music. Sometimes it has different moods. Mm-hmm. And barber, you just get a lot of money and, you know.
Especially if you're good, because you'll get big tips, Grant. You'll get very big tips. It's nice to have you here. Let's go over to Magnolia, and this team is returning. They've won twice already. They're here for their third appearance. Accokeek Academy did so well last year that they were able to avoid the first round of competition. Madison, nice to have you back. Tell us about the yellow shirts. Is that the school color?
Yeah, it's our school uniform color.
It is? Oh, so you wear those every day then? Wonderful. Okay. In fact, you kind of match the lettering. It's all perfectly coordinated over there. Tell me where Magnolia is.
Well, we're in Lanham.
Hmm? And I've been there before. It's tucked away back there. It's a beautiful little school. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Miss Phyllis Gillens.
Yes, and she's out there rooting for you. And your sponsor, Mr. Robert Allen, is here, and he's a wonderful guy. And talking about singing, Carlia, you should hear Mr. Allen sing. He just has a wonderful voice, and he's a great teacher as well. Madison, tell me what you hope to do someday.
Well, I hope to either be a doctor, a lawyer, a vet, or a professional stunt woman.
Professional stunt woman, and I don't remember you telling me that before. So are you a pretty good gymnast, and can you tumble with the best of them?
Yep.
Yep.
My falls.
All right. Hey, more power to you. There's a commercial on TV that shows this woman jumping from building to building and all, so maybe you can follow in her footsteps. Before I leave you, Madison, any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Kevin, Asiatu, and Jordan.
Wonderful. Now, they're all in the wings, and they'll be out in just a few moments. Chrissy, nice to have you back. Young lady who is an actress. Literally, she has been acting and singing, and you're a real performer. You want to go to Florida State someday, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Why Florida?
Well, I was born in Florida, in Miami, and I really enjoyed living there, and it helps, like, I just think that it's a good place, and it's not too far from the beach, and so I wouldn't mind being beach madness. A
Florida state of mind, you still have it. Must have been rough this winter with all this snow around here. You don't see anything like that down there. No. You're a good player, Chrissy. It's nice to have you back. Cortez, nice to have you here. You're a wonderful player. How do you come up with all your science knowledge?
Well, whenever I can, I watch the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, boy, that really helps, doesn't it? Yeah. That and the internet and keeping up with the news, because you're there all the time. I can hear you over here. You're really a big assist to Madison. And you'd like to work for NASA someday, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you want to go into space, or would you rather be down here controlling things?
I would probably want to go into space.
Absolutely. Let's hope you have those opportunities to go up to the space station or to Mars or wherever it is the U.S. finally decides we'd like to go next. Let's get back to our game. 180 for Magnolia, 85 for Accokeek. Last correct answer came from the green team. So, Madison, where next?
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, the famed oceanographer Jacques Cousteau invented scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. That's a lot to say, but some people liken it to one of our organs by calling it an aqua what? Magnolia.
Lung.
Lung, the aqua lung. Yeah, you put that on so you can scuba and snorkel with the impunity there. Go, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, if someone is suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning, it's critical to get them to a hospital quickly. Yes, Magnolia.
Hyperbaric treatment.
Yes, and hyperbaric refers to what?
100% oxygen in the room.
Judges? Anything more you can tell us about a hyperbaric chamber?
A hyperbaric chamber, it's filled with 100% oxygen, and all that oxygen gets the carbon monoxide out.
Judges? Yes? No, we're not. I'm very sorry, Madison. Those judges are a tough bunch today. Accokeek, thanks to everything Madison, she jumped right in there. She knew all about carbon monoxide poisoning. As she said, you take the victim to a hospital quickly, put them into a hyperbaric chamber to get that literally will get rid of all of the carbon monoxide and let the oxygen come in. Hyperbaric chambers subject the human body to high amounts of what? What do you think, Kevin?
Pressure.
Pressure is the key word. That's what we were looking for. Pressure, as in barometric pressure, a barometer measuring air pressure. Sorry about that, Madison. We'll make it up to you. Go red.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, surveys say that 30% of this green fruit that some people call an alligator pear is consumed on Super Bowl Sunday in the form of guacamole. Magnolia.
Avocado.
Avocados. How many avocados have to die to keep us fed during the Super Bowl? Absolutely good. You're up to 200 points, 105 for Accokeek. Go, Madison.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, former President Bill Clinton recently had a stent placed in one of these coronary blood vessels when it was clogged. What kind of blood vessel, Kevin?
An artery.
An artery, yes, sir. A coronary artery. Nicely done. Red.
Dateline science for, body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, when people get very nervous, sometimes even when they're on Science Bowl, they will resort to onychophagia, which is biting these body parts, sometimes down to the quick. Magnolia.
Nails.
Nails, that's right. They're sitting back and forth. Okay, good. All right, go green.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. Teams, a geographic question. If you were on safari and you saw a tapir and an anaconda and a jaguar and a llama, where in the world would you be? Where would you be, Accokeek? Yes? You rang in. What did you want to tell me? Where?
South America.
You would be in South America. Absolutely right. All species that are found throughout the countries of South America. Good. I worried about you there. I didn't know if you're going to pull that one out. Red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, the skiers who win the giant slalom do so because they're great athletes, but they've also learned to reduce this force between their skis and the snow, Magnolia.
No, friction.
Friction.
Friction, absolutely right. Yeah, the more you reduce it, the faster you can go. Good. Green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Team, scientists recently found a 4,000-year-old man in Greenland frozen in the permafrost. They analyzed the DNA in his hair, and they found that he had alopecia. Yep, he was going what? He was going what, Accokeek?
Crazy?
Not crazy, no. Good try. He had alopecia, Magnolia, which meant he was going what?
Bald.
Bald, that's right. They found maybe one of the last of the hairs up there on his shiny pate. Go, green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Teams, the cells in a beehive, just like all snowflakes, are octagonal. Magnolia.
Hexagonal.
Hexagonal, absolutely right. 6-sided, not pentagonal with 5 or octagonal with 8. Nicely done. Thank you again, Cortez and Chrissy. Go, Madison.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. The big one in that category, teams. Sometimes people say you need to feed a tree. Well, trees don't eat, but they do. Kevin?
Photosynthesize.
They photosynthesize? Not quite. Good try. And I know you're trying to jump in to get those points, and I admired that. Let me finish that for Magnolia. Trees don't really eat. They feed themselves. They get nourished because food moves from the soil into their roots, up into the body of the tree. What O-initial process makes that happen when nutrients go from an area of higher concentration to lower concentration? O-initialed. Tough question. Osmosis. Osmosis is the right answer. Try again, green. Yes, ma'am.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, sometimes people who suffer from obesity opt to get a gastric bypass, which is a tube that goes from the stomach and goes around the first part of what subsequent organ that does most of the body's absorption. For 25 points, name that organ, Magnolia.
The small intestine?
Got it. Perfect. 25 points. That's what you needed. Go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, it is said that it was snakes that St. Patrick drove out of Ireland. But what equally repulsive creatures were driven from the town of Hamlin by the Magnolia?
Rats.
Rats. The Pied Piper. That's right. He played and off they went. Go. Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points, teams. A lot of people who go to see the movie Avatar get kind of dizzy and nauseous because it's in 3D. The 3Ds are... Kevin?
Dimensions.
Which give them to me. What are they?
Length, width, and height.
Good try. Say it again. Length, width, and height, you said, correct?
Yes.
Magnolia, thank you, Kevin, for that. The 3 dimensions that Avatar is projected in are height, width, and what?
Depth.
Again?
Depth.
Depth is right, absolutely right. I thought you said death over there, but I knew what you meant. Good for correcting that. Kevin, thank you for that attempt. Go, green.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, a new field of science called synthetic biology is the creation of new creatures. Scientists took the DNA from an Arctic flounder, a fish, and put that inside of a tomato, producing a kind of tomato that is resistant to what condition? Kevin?
Oxidizing.
Oxidizing? Not oxidizing. This tomato is resistant to what condition that occurs when the dew point drops below 32 degrees?
Oh, it's cold. To the cold.
More specifically, when the dew point drops below 32 degrees?
Cortez will explain it.
Cortez?
Basically, when they put the DNA inside a tomato, since it's an Arctic flounder, then it will be resistant to the cold, so it doesn't. It can grow in colder temperatures.
Okay, not quite. The judges were somewhat lenient, but we're looking for frost-resistant. Frost. Dew point below 32 degrees is when frost occurs. So the word frost had to appear in some answer there. Go again, green. Down to our last 5 questions.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, a rainbow and an oil slick will act just like what piece of glass that breaks up white light into all the colors of the rainbow? Name that piece of glass, Magnolia.
Prism.
Prism it is, yeah. Grant, I think you knew that. Get Kevin to push the buzzer if you got the idea. Same thing with you, Carlia. Go, Magnolia.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, there's a new movie. Percy Jackson steals... What does he steal, Kevin?
Lightning.
Lightning, that's right. What kind of discharge of electrical energy? Good, go, Kevin.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline science for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Charles Darwin, when he made his voyage to the Galapagos Islands, sailed aboard a ship that would have been very popular with the Peanuts character Snoopy, because the name of the ship was the what? The Beagle. Snoopy the Beagle. Try again, red. Well, we won't have a chance. The buzzer has sounded. That means our game is over. Looks like Magnolia is headed to the next round of competition. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. 6 outstanding young people. They're just the best of the best. Our final tally today is Accokeek Academy 145, Magnolia 330. Congratulations to the yellow shirts over there. Kristen and Madison and Cortez, you played a brilliant game. Look at all the alternates back there. They've got a shadow team, Jordan and Kevin and Asiatu and the esteemed Mr. Allen, looking good as always. Over at Accokeek Academy, you guys played as good as you looked today. Grant and Kevin and Carlia, I'm really proud of you. Even your answers that were wrong were in the ballpark. You're great competitors. Look at the shadow team back there. Say hello to Isaiah and Allison and Roman and their 2 great sponsors, first times this year, Nicholas Olson and Vitalia Forbes. Nice to have you both with us today. Thank you for joining us on Science Bowl. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.